There it is. Woohoo! Ron Ross Radio Show podcast surprise. Yeah, we were going to go an hour earlier, but I'll let John explain to you why we didn't. And then,
Really?
But thank you for I'm not.
Thrown right under the
welcome
bus.
in.
2
Not at
seconds
all.
into the show.
John, stop. I'm just teasing you, bro. Just teasing you a little bit. Oh, man. So, welcome in. Here we go. It's a New Year's Eve, 12/31/24. This is just crazy. And we're now in the last 12 hours. We're now in the last 12 hours of 20.
Oh, wow.
Well, we are on the East Coast. You guys are, on the West Coast. You're fine. You've got 3 more hours. But welcome in to our New Year's Eve show.
Shoo.
I'm Ron Ross. That guy over there is John Yaglinski, who is my partner, my executive producer. Actually, none of this would be happening without John, so he's a very integral part of the whole thing. And welcome in. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I'll just briefly touch on ours. We got up a little bit, there are no kids running around anymore. Right. So it wasn't like, oh, get up at 6 a.m. We got up, we had some coffee, and then put things together, as it were, and then the daughter, the younger, was here spending the night. She slept in, and then we got a text from daughter, the elder, who was coming over with her husband and son, our grandson, GS1. And they're like, we thought, all right, 10, maybe 11. No, right. 9:15. I'm like, oh, okay. So it was like, da, 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 run around, get everything done. And then it was just fantastic because, we take turns and we all sit in our own spots, which we've done for years. Yeah. And then just and open up present after present. And it was wonderful. It was just, we were rocking the mimosas pretty hard, and I hadn't eaten anything. So,
what time of the morning was this again?
This was 9:30.
Okay.
So Ron and Jordan and Carolina and the greatest wife ever, she was having orange crushes. So she was having vodka.
What is an orange crush?
Orange crush is vodka. You get an orange liqueur. You can do Grand Marnier, or you can do just the regular old triple sec.
Oh, okay.
And or you can do an orange flavored vodka if you want. Ooh. And then it's splash orange juice. Now sometimes they usually put Sprite, but Greatest Wife Ever doesn't like it that sweet, so it's a club soda for
club soda.
And that is an orange crush. And apparently, I didn't realize this. It's a Maryland thing. Because we were in Florida. We were at Houston's. Really nice place, right there on the water, right there on the
we have a problem.
The intercoastal waterway.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a juicer, a big press juicer. Okay. And they had all these oranges and all these grapefruits. And so Greatest Wife Ever orders an orange crush. They're like, what's that? And she's like, well, you have the orange, isn't it? So apparently they do what's called a Greyhound, which is basically the same thing, but with grapefruit.
I was going to say, I thought it was with grapefruit. It was a Greyhound.
Okay. The Greyhound, it is, right. So she said, just make a Greyhound, but with oranges instead of grapefruit.
Okay.
And that's what they did.
So you were on the intercoastal water in Florida. Where in Florida, though?
When we visit our friends at
where? What's the town?
Down from Boca Raton. We're in Pompano Beach. Technically, I mean, it's Pompano. Their house is like when you walk to Publix to the grocery store, which is a block and a half, maybe.
Okay.
You literally cross over the line and says, oh, you're in Lighthouse Point. So it's Lighthouse Point, and then there's Pompano Beach. They're on the northern end of Pompano Beach. But drive over to the intercoastal waterway and at Houston's, and that would be in Pompano Beach. And
lovely.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful.
How was the weather down there in the Floridas?
Oh, I wasn't there. We weren't there recently.
Oh, now I'm understanding. I see. We did a flashback to when Greatest Wife Ever was ordering greyhounds and
Correct.
orange crushers.
Yeah,
Right.
we haven't been there in a year.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
This just in. John is still in vacation mode.
All right. Well, to confuse you
Totally.
even more,
Okay.
the daughter of the elder is in Florida right now with her her in-laws.
Well, how about
family.
that?
Drove right past you, John.
Right.
You know, and she did one of these share her location. So we
Yeah.
just watched her little icon drive down 95.
Went past exit 8.
Like I'm texting her going, "Oh, wave to John. You're driving right past Hilton Head."
Right.
Look,
Well, you had to let me know so I could wave back. I mean,
look to your left.
yeah, look to your left that way about 30 minutes. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
40
was
minutes.
a lot of fun, and we just opened up a lot of presents, and then surprise, Greatest Wife Ever. There was this small little insignificant present, which is what the daughter of the elder said it was. It was just sitting on top of the piano, just small,
Okay.
inconsequential, tiny little thing. We opened it up,
Uh-huh.
and it was a TV. It was I don't know what it was, a trinket or whatever, with a remote and everything.
Okay.
And she says, "Yes, we got you another TV."
No, did
So, if you recall,
yeah, I was going to say
8 billion years ago, actually it was 11 years ago,
okay.
2013, they gave us, daughter of the elder and daughter of the younger they had a Black Friday special and gave us a big screen TV, big screen for us. We were still on a CRT.
Well, 10 years ago, let's see, big screen would have been what, 47 to 50 something, maybe.
What, inches?
Yeah.
Well, no, it was 50.
Okay.
50.
Yeah, I mean, back then.
Right.
I was just trying to, like, now those same ones, they're like they're pushing 80 inches now.
Dude, I was walking around Sam's Club, and it would take up over half the wall of our exterior wall if we got one of those. They have 70. There's 75. Yeah, you're right. 80.
We have a 70 in both of our viewing locations, but actually in our bedroom, I want to get an 80-inch one because it's all the way on the other side of the room. I think I've mentioned this before. We sit in bed at one side of the room, and it's like 2 bedrooms essentially put together. Like,
yeah, his master suite takes up a whole
back of the house,
the back of the house. So from one end to the other of the house, that's the whole master suite. So the bed's at one end, and your little teeny tiny TV is
like
all
a little, which is not little tiny. It's a 70-inch TV.
I know, but when you're talking,
when you're all the way at the
20
other end of the room,
24 feet or more, 30 feet.
It makes for an awkward kind of thing because we have a little sitting area where we look at the TV.
Yeah.
So if you get it too big, then you're kind of like looking up. Oh, there's a TV. But then when you're across the room sitting in bed, it's the perfect size. So
they say you shouldn't have a television in your bedroom anyway, because it gets in the way of what you're supposed to be doing, which is sleeping.
We don't have that problem.
I don't. Yeah.
I mean, maybe some people do, and I know some people who have to have the TV on in order to sleep.
Greatest wife ever.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
She does.
No, we don't have that issue. We just when it's time to turn it off, we turn it off.
What I think is funny now is during COVID, we redid a lot of since we weren't going out and we weren't spending money at restaurants and bars.
Right.
We actually had some expendable cash. So we bought furniture, we bought a new bedroom suite, we painted things, we had our floors refinished, and then we decided to treat ourselves and we got a 65-inch television.
Yeah.
Which is directly across from us, right?
Right.
And so now we come upstairs, it's like, oh, let's go to bed. It's like 11 o'clock. I've already fallen asleep in front of the television and with my mouth hanging open.
Right.
Then, okay, let's go. Yeah. So I got to take my medicine, feed the cats dry food, and then go upstairs. And we've recently started watching Emergency again.
Like Squad 51,
Engine 51, KMG 365.
Yeah.
IV with ringers lactate. Squad 51, Squad 51, Engine 51, Station 51. Yeah, I loved it. Gage and DeSoto, Johnny Gage, Roy DeSoto. You know, when other kids were playing Army or whatever in the backyard,
I did the same thing.
I was giving IVs with ringers lactate.
Same.
I was defibbing.
Dixie.
It didn't
Dixie
care.
gave the
Or
General Rampart General.
Rampart General. That's right.
Yeah.
Loved it. I didn't realize this. That was a influential. It was the beginning. It was the fledgling part of paramedics.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't realize that. And the show was about this new program of paramedics going out and doing all these rescues, and talk to, and so we have firefighters in the family now because our daughter, the elder, married a firefighter, career firefighter. His father's a career firefighter, retired now. But I asked him, and a friend of ours who who used to live up the street, Mitch, he was a career firefighter with Fairfax County. In fact, he was on the scene on 9/11 at the Pentagon. And he's calling his then wife and saying, stay inside. They're not telling you everything. There's still planes in the air. And that was the Shanksville, the Pennsylvania plane.
Right.
And that was on its way to DC.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
And we were talking to Mitch, and he said, oh, yeah, emergency Squad 51. That's why I became a firefighter. And I'm wondering how many went into that, because there was an uptick in people trying to become naval aviators after Top Gun.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he got cited. Tom Cruise was given a I forget what it was, not Medal of Freedom, but a pretty big honor from the Navy, or was it from the just Armed Forces or the Pentagon for, shedding such a great light and doing what he did for the recruitment for the armed services, because people are like, I want to do that. I would like to fly an F-15. Right. That would be fantastic. And you had an update. Anyway, I think that was the same thing with Emergency Squad 51 and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, growing up or I wanted to be in special weapons and tactics.
Oh, you wanted to be SWAT? You've been on SWAT.
It was SWAT or
or
a paramedic, one or the other.
Time to wonder what it must be like to strap on a gun and pin on a badge.
You should
become a lawman. Sorry. I'm sorry.
All right,
let me bring you along with my brain is working.
All right.
He mentioned SWAT in the 70s. Actually, Rhythm Heritage was the band that had a hit with the SWAT theme song.
Yeah.
And then as a college student, I listened to this DJ who worked at DC 101 when my career was just starting off. DC 101, this rock station in Washington, D.C., called the Grease Man.
Right.
And one of the big hooks from the Grease Man was that he did all these different jobs. And one of them was, and he actually was, an auxiliary police officer.
Right.
He had trained and all that stuff. And so he would start his bit of the lawman with the theme to SWAT.
Right.
And he just had this big intro, which I just did. Time to wonder what it must be like to strap on a gun and pin on a badge. And then we go into these big stories. Anyway, that's where that came from, but I digress. My point is, from 17 minutes ago, welcome to Squirrel,
right,
is that we have this giant, gargantuan, wonderful television, and we're watching old black and white Perry Masons, and
they're 4x3 formatted too.
Twilight Zone,
and
Emergency,
Black Bars,
not in HD.
No,
Adam 12. We're watching Adam 1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12. Seen the man.
It's another
great show. So we got this TV now.
How big is the new one?
55.
55.
So perfect for the living room.
Okay. Good.
And God bless him. And I feel bad, but I don't feel that bad. I'm 60 years old now, and I'm a father-in-law. I'm a grandfather and a father-in-law. And my son-in-law, Derek, is Joe Handyman, and he's like, all right, let's get this. And he
sucker mounted.
Opens up it's not mounted on the wall. It's on a TV stand. But we screw it into this TV stand because, a cat can jump on it, tip it over and all that stuff. So it's secure. So he's looking at the way the old one was secured. And then it was just like, and I brought up, some of my power tools. Screw this in. I'm clean. I was his assistant. I'm just cleaning stuff up. I did some measurements because I don't eyeball things. This really drives Greatest Wife Ever absolutely crazy. I don't eyeball things.
No, neither do I.
I measure.
Yeah.
And because she'll like, I need to hang this on the wall, and then she just goes right here, and then and I'm like, but
nope.
But how far down from the thing?
Yeah. Set the tape, the X's, mark them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm measuring to get it centered on the and he had it done in probably 7 minutes.
Wow.
And then I'm just, set the TV up. So we got a television because the old one was going. The one that they gave us from 11 years ago, which
that's pretty good life.
Is that a good life?
10 years for a TV.
For an insignia television.
It
was getting dark.
What's the new one? What did you get now?
A Vizio. And they got it at Sam's.
Right.
And she said they got it at Sam's, so that's why. So I get on my phone, and the Greatest Wife Ever's like, "Don't look it up. Don't look at what." I'm like,
don't do that.
You're right. You're right.
Don't.
I just wanted to see. I know they got a good sale price because I was walking through Sam's Club like the week before when we were shopping for a party, our Christmas party, and these, unbelievably gargantuan televisions. It's like, I don't know if I need somebody's face that big. It'd be good for a football game, but other than that, I don't know if I close up like a movie screen.
It's true. I mean, I was looking at the 80s, and I think when I saw some of them, some of the lower end ones, which are fine, unless you're, super into the pixel definition and all that kind of stuff and the blackness levels and all that. They were like, I don't know, $600 to $800 for 80-inch TVs.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
I know.
That used to be, I remember buying my first big screen. We had in our basement, as you may remember, in Urbana, we had a 57-inch projection television, Sony.
Yes.
Right. I think I paid $2,000 for that TV.
Dude, I remember my first VCR that I bought was over $500.
I know.
For a VCR,
right?
For a VHS.
Now you can get an 80-inch TV, and they're like 30 or 40 pounds. They're not even that heavy.
No, they're not. I mean, Derek, my son-in-law brought it in from the car single-handedly. I didn't help him.
Yeah,
I almost literally broke my back when we were moving my friend George's CRT from his bedroom, and we're going down the stairs.
Gosh.
And my
CRTs were so heavy.
I started to back up, and I felt my back. I'm like, oh, we gotta put it down. There was just no more strength in me. I'm not a strong guy anyway. So got the TV. It was wonderful. And I have to mention this because daughter the younger, Carolina. So she's home, and by the way, she's going on tour. Swerve's her band is going on tour. Yeah, she's back into it. She just keeps telling me, "Oh no, Dad, next thing I know, I see on our Instagram all these dates start popping up." But she's coming to Baltimore, DC. She's got a date in Richmond, and then she's playing in Baltimore, and then is it DC and then Baltimore? I think it's DC and then Baltimore, and then work her way back up to Philly. Went on tour with another band called Soft No. Is it Soft? It's Soft No. Which is another great band. These kids and the names of the band. So anyway, if you're in the Richmond area or Baltimore, DC, look for Swerve.
Look them up.
You in February. I will be at 2 of those shows. I actually I want to drive to the Richmond show and surprise her and shock the heck out of her because I used to live outside Richmond.
Right.
Anyway,
not that far a drive, although traffic can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes.
So GS1.
Yes.
our grandson is opening up presents, and it was all kinds of. He has some great presents, and then he gets one from his aunt Carolina, and it's about this big, and opens it up.
Yeah.
It's a harmonica, and I just saw daughter the elder just go, "Oh, good."
Lovely. It's like getting the squeaky toy for a dog.
AFD all day. This boy was
they're doing the harmonica. Oh, jeez.
all day.
Oh no.
All day.
Oh.
And then I said, "Oh, by the way, come here, David. It's my GS1." I'm like, "Dude, did you know if you suck in, you change the note?" And he's like, "What?" And he was so was like, so that was that.
Get him next time. Get him a melodica. That'll be fun too.
The hooter.
Get him a hooter. Yeah.
So the
that's
the elder posted the next day with the GS1 walking around.
Yeah.
She's like, apparently I have angered my sister in some fashion.
You think?
That was the best quote. Oh God. But it was good. It was a good day all day. And then the rib roast came out perfectly, and we had a nice dinner. And then we went over to friends who invited us over later that evening, and just sat around, and it was a lot of fun. Took a lot. And then I'll just say this before I ask you about yours.
Okay.
Afterwards, the next day, we literally,
figuratively
did nothing. Just
that's what I was planning on doing today.
It's our new TV.
Nothing.
Sorry,
and then Ron texted me.
I didn't mean to mess that up, John. I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
But and then the greatest wife ever is like, I feel kind of guilty. I'm like, why? I said, let's look at this year. You've been going nonstop since beginning of July.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Because she put together her own birthday party. And then August and September was getting things ready for Heritage Festival, which is a street festival in my hometown. And she's the chair. So she runs the whole thing. Right after that, it was get things together for the charity concert that we do, Christmas Bash for Kids. And then after that, it was Thanksgiving. And then after that, it was Christmas Cash for Kids. And then she has to go toy shopping. And then after that, she had to get ready for our Christmas party. And then after that, then we could have Christmas. So the day after, she's feeling guilty because she's not running around like a chicken. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Sit on that couch. I will nail you to that couch. You're not going anywhere. Watch whatever you want to watch. So,
yeah.
And that's what we've been doing the past couple of days.
I'm feeling all of that.
No thing. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, yeah, you've been a globetrotter. So how was your holiday? How was your Christmas?
Oh, everything was great.
Yeah.
I mean, good times. Of course, my son from New York and his wife, Bonnie, Andrew and Bonnie, came down. My other son, Michael, lives right up the road here.
Okay.
So he's already here. But they came down and brought lousy weather with them the whole time they were here. I mean, it was just cloudy, cold, rainy, that sort of thing. They left and literally it was 70 and sunny. And look at it right now out the window here. I mean,
I'm sorry.
My son was like, maybe we should come during a time of year where it's warmer. I was like, yeah, good plan. That sounds.
But it usually is warm this time of year.
It is. Yeah, it was just a weird week for weather.
Yeah, it was an anomaly.
Weird week for weather. Yes.
That's good though.
But it was good. Having everybody here, and we did some fun stuff. We went out virtual golfing the other night, which was fun.
How is that? Is that fun? I haven't been able to pull
the trigger on that. Yeah. So, there's a place at least here on Hilton Head that does it. So for a smaller screen, and when I say small, it's like a whole wall. Yeah. For $55 an hour, you can rent a space there, and they have food and beverages and stuff that you can order and all that sort of thing. Sure. So I think you can have between 4 and 6 people there comfortably. And then because all of them were sold out and we decided to do this at the last minute, we instead went for the $100 an hour one, which still, $25 a person wasn't awful.
That's not
to be able to do that. And we could have technically had up to 16 people in the area where we were.
Yeah.
We actually had private room and a bigger screen and the whole 9 yards. And it was fun. Yeah. I mean, there were a bunch of different games you could play. I mean, you could do golf, or they had like soccer. They had like some sort of basketball. They had hockey. They had all these different games you could play virtually.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, so it was fun. Yeah, and the food wasn't too bad. And all in all, I think we spent a couple $100, so about $50 a person for, and we got there beforehand too, like a half an hour before. So we had some beverages and some food beforehand. So all in all, not that bad considering what you'd get, you pay to go see a basketball game.
Was any of that food pizza? You pizza-holic?
They had pizza there, but we had done pizza already.
Oh, okay.
A couple times, as a matter of fact, over the last 5 or 6 days.
John and his wife really love pizza. I didn't realize this about those two knuckleheads.
Well, I mean, we do,
I could
but
eat some pizza.
There's actually a number of good places here, but yeah, that led to I think it was Christmas Eve, trying to find a place to get something takeout wise, because Andrew had gotten here pretty late in the day, and it was like, okay, let's go get pizza. So I order on the Domino's app. We get to Domino's, they're like, the order's canceled. Yeah, sorry, we're closing.
What?
Like what? I know. So we ordered before they closed, and they just decided, we're just going to cancel the order. Yeah, we're out of we're out of ingredients and stuff like. I'm like,
they weren't out of ingredients. They just
so Papa John's to the rescue. They were pretty much the only ones.
They put the pepperoncini in there too.
Yeah.
Did they still put that and the little garlic butter on the side?
They did put the stuff on the side. Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
No, it is. Yeah, with
good
the
touch.
little. Yeah, it is a good. So I was surprised. Haven't had Papa John's in a while. So for takeout, it was quite edible. Wow. And thanks to them for being open on Christmas.
I know, right?
Right. So I mean, is she right? Other than that, good week. We're kind of winding down, and I don't know, for like the last, I don't know about you, but like for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've just felt like, I kind of had something coming on. You obviously did have something that came on,
and it's still there.
Yeah,
I had it last week, and I still have it this week.
Yeah,
and it'll clear up for a day. Right. I'll be fine. And then I'll wake up the next day, and then it's like everybody out of the pool. All of a sudden, my nose is just like, well, we need to do our thing and get rid of this irritant. So we're just going to flood you with all kinds of mucus and to get it out. And it's literally, I can
mucusy.
I can pinpoint inside my nose where the irritant is, and it's like, all right, go for it. And you want to try to like scrub it, and it's not to get gross, but yeah. So I did. So you felt like something was coming on. Did you?
Yeah, no, I just the whole like every few days I would feel like something was coming on. I'd take my vitamins as I do normally. I'd just load up. And
did you get a flu shot?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm done with that.
I was at the hospital yesterday.
I did that for a long time.
Flu shot?
Yeah, and I ended up getting sick.
From the shot.
From the shot. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I know that happens.
That and the flu and the pneumonia vax or whatever it was at one point. And that was about the sickest I've been in a while. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a few years off. I'm going to just try and be healthy.
Yeah.
Going to try and do the right things. Going to try and have the immune system stocked up, take the probiotics, do all the stuff that you do. So no, I never got sick.
Oh, good.
Bottom line is, or I haven't. Oh, wow. I shouldn't.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's crazy talk. I'm on an antihistamine right now, in case you couldn't tell. Yes. And this is
Doctor Talk with John and Ron.
If I wanted to nap, I could lay down right now and go right out. I mean, I am fighting it.
Yeah.
There she is, Jennifer Scone. No, happy last day of 2024, friends. Yeah, she has posted.
Sorry,
you're not late. We're late.
Yeah.
late, Jennifer. You can go back.
And Steve, an old time friend of mine, says Ron's a
Yeah.
better podcast partner than he was back in the early 80s when we were sitting in his house or my house recording radio shows to tape, pretending to be announcers. I still have those tapes somewhere.
Do you?
Yes.
I would
Yeah.
love to hear them.
Yeah, I know. They'd be funny. The
That would be
Melch and Yag
great.
show. Yep.
Yeah.
And then my aunt says that we were really showing our age when we were talking about the TV shows.
You know what? I'm just going to say this. I'm tired of trying to act not my age.
Yeah.
I'm 60 years old. I'm at that age now. No, and it's not like it's not like I know that's what I feel like. I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like 60. And I'm at the, it's not like I won't have a filter. I'm not going to just spout off.
Hey, you can
say whatever I want. Oh, I have yelled at cars in my neighborhood to slow down.
Have you?
But I've been doing that for like 30 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's nothing new, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're just idiots. However, I've done trying to act not my age. I mean, I was kind of instructed not to talk about my grandson when I was on the air at a specific place because it made me sound old. And it made me mad because I am who I am. And I've always lived my life or spoken about my life on the air because everybody else has a life like I do. And they can relate, which is happening and shopping or your kids or cats vomiting or the house falling apart or whatever, budget issues, whatever. Yeah. And, it just happened that the grandson was major part of my life at the time. And I was told not to talk about it. And I'm like, this is not going well. And I don't like where this is going. Well, and that's where it went. So now, I mean, I'm just, I know I show my age. I'm 60. There's a lot of what's her name? The darling of the rom-coms. Now I can't remember. Sandra Bullock is 60. She's my age. Mm-hmm. Rob Lowe is 60. He's okay. There's a lot of great. He looks fantastic.
Time for the Botox, Ron. Time for the Botox.
If I would do anything, and I'm not saying I wouldn't do anything.
I know there's one thing I would do.
What would you do? What would you do? Yeah.
If it worked.
If it worked. Put some hair on your head.
Oh, absolutely.
You haven't tried the what is it? The not Propecia. What is
I've tried all that stuff.
Have you tried all this stuff?
Oh yeah.
It just doesn't work. Okay.
But if there was a way to the point, that I would do that in a heartbeat. If it cost $1,000 a month, I don't care. I'd pay it. I would.
I hear you, brother.
I would find a way. I would work at McDonald's third shift if I had to, just to pay for my hair.
I've always wanted to work at McDonald's. I had a McDonald's. I had a job at McDonald's.
McRib is back
for about 30. I know. I'm excited about it. I like the McRib. Sorry.
Yeah, I do too.
But there's a guy, what's his name? Pat Spatula? Something or Patula, I think. Patula? He's on Instagram. He's also on YouTube. Yes. But he wears a GoPro while he works at McDonald's. And he's worked his way up. He's worked at McDonald's his whole, adult life from teenager, so on. So now he's an owner and an operator of one. Yeah. And just to watch him when he pulls the buns down after they're toasted and put the cheeseburger together and the quarter pounder with cheese, because the quarter pounder, by the way, is cooked per order.
Now they are. Yeah.
Now they are.
Definitely.
And it's fresh ground beef. It's not
better than they used to be. That's
sure. No, they're fantastic. And that's why you have to wait a little bit in line.
I'm okay with that.
I've literally had a quarter pounder with cheese at the Clear Spring McDonald's in Clear Spring, Maryland, served to me where it was too hot to eat.
I'm okay with that too.
It was burning my mouth.
I'm smart enough to know.
It was fantastic. Yeah. It was fantastic. All right, how did we get on this subject?
I don't know, but I'm suddenly really.
Guess what I want? I know
right now.
Guess what I want?
I no joke. Okay, I know it's not New Year's resolution. I don't make them, but I'm gonna say I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm telling you this right now.
Okay.
I'm
All right,
going
mark
to.
it. Here we go. New Year's
Not
Eve.
a resolution.
No. What's your time?
It's just something
What's your
I'm going to
time
do.
frame?
60 days.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, that's fair. That's good.
Well, that gives me time to actually start being active and maybe start doing some running again and adjusting my diet and getting rid of the stuff in the fridge. But I stepped on the scale today and that was a mistake. Let's
I
just
haven't.
put that out
for
there.
the month of December. I have not weighed myself.
Mm-hmm. Thus drinking lots of water right now.
I have not weighed myself for the month of December.
Don't do it.
I know. I don't want to know.
I'm telling you, don't do it.
I don't want to know.
At least wait another day.
I mean, I've seen when I go back and watch the podcast and look at myself like, oh, God, put the cookies down, right?
I know, right? Feeling a little puffy.
I am a little puffy.
Well,
I did want to mention
it's also to that point, by the way, and just last point on that is that don't eat anymore because then it's new wardrobe time. So let's not do that. Yeah, let's not go down that road.
Well, yeah, I know. I had lost some weight. Grain Swife and I were doing Weight Watchers, and I lost some weight. I was very good. It was soup and salads, and I wasn't feeling, and I could eat whatever I wanted. Just portion control and
dial it back a little bit.
Exactly. Right. Mm-hmm. And getting steps in and all that stuff. And I was doing pretty good. Yep. Yeah. Put it all back on.
I know. So you and me both.
I got lazy about it. And I was pushing almost 20 pounds lost and was feeling better. And,
I know.
Oh, I could bring the belt in one more notch. Wow. Okay.
That's where I want to get right back to that.
Right. So I'll start over again. I always do this. I do this to myself. I will start over again, but I have to do it. I have to do it not just for my health and wardrobe and look better, but for my heart.
Well, that too.
All the things going on
healthy,
with my heart.
Life is more enjoyable when you maintain a certain level of health.
I got to try.
Got
to try.
Yeah. All right,
so no, you're good. I wanted to mention briefly, they're still with us on this planet, but Mom went into the hospital last week. And so they took care of whatever that was. And I don't really mention this. I don't put it out there. But Mom's elderly, and so she was in a care facility anyway, into the hospital. So I got to know, again, walking the steps from the front door to get to the front door of the hospital to get to the elevators. I'm putting in a good bit of steps. I'm sorry, to keep a nice pace going to try to exercise. And I would take the stairs instead of the elevator. And so anyway, she's home. She's back. Yeah. They resolved those issues, but now Dad went into the hospital.
Oh goodness!
The other last night, yesterday morning.
Okay.
So I'm gonna dip out of here when we're done and dip over and go see Dad.
All
well,
right.
we're finding out. Yeah, no, he's still with us. He's still awake, and it was there was my whole point is that it was Mom last week and it's Dad this week. Right. And this is the reality you have when you have, parents of a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start contemplating other things that you don't really you aren't comfortable contemplating. I'm not going to get into it all that much. I just wanted to say that they're still here and they're still with us, and we're blessed with that. And I'm happy about that. And I'd be happy to go and visit them every day in the hospital or wherever. While they're still here. So just trying to take advantage of every day as much
always
do as much as you can in the time that you have, because you're never guaranteed tomorrow. All right, enough philosophizing.
Right.
But I did want to mention that because my brothers and I are of the mind that we had great childhoods growing up, and a lot of it, well, not a lot of it, I'm going to say all of it, was due to our parents and the way we were raised, and just the dedication that they put to us and the whole hard work and all of that. Mom's a teacher and Dad worked for the federal government. And as there's something to be said when you put in a lot of, and you get a pension. He's doing okay. I'm happy. He saved up. He saved for a rainy day. So he sent the template for my brothers and I to be like, here's what you should do.
Yeah,
Do
nice.
this, do this, do this, do this, do this.
Good.
Financially to just make sure everything's cool. But I just wanted to mention that because it's been an interesting holiday. Because
Keep us posted.
A lot of us has been at the
Yeah.
has been spent at the hospital.
Mm.
but you know, those medical professionals, and you talk to the waitresses. Where's my mind? You talk to the nurses.
You're thinking about
and doctors. Coolest doctor came in yesterday working on Dad in the ER.
Mm.
She was fantastic because she's Dad's hard of hearing.
Mm-hmm.
He has his hearing aids in, but they don't really work all that great. And so and you have to tell them. So they wind up, you know, you're yelling at Dad the whole time. And I'm only laughing because if you were on the other side of the curtain, you know all of our business.
Yeah.
Because you can't not hear it. Because, okay, Dad, I'm going to go get something to eat. It's not that bad. But you try to, you know, so the doctor she was awesome. She was rocking. And then,
nice.
Yeah, it was great because she was going to go down one road of treatment and then something happened. And then while she was standing there, I mean, hell, serendipitous. It was great. And then she was like, oh, well, this changes everything. And the next thing you know, she's on a phone talking to this specialist and that specialist, and then moved down a different road. But thank God it happened while she was standing right there, you know, and you didn't have to wait for her to come in and get treatment and stuff. So anyway, all right, moving on. For the year, John, is there anything that stands out in your mind as like a great movie that you saw, or maybe a show that you were streaming?
I got streaming show. I'm trying to think movie wise. I saw you had put that on the run of show, as we call it, the ROS.
The ROS.
And I was trying to think of a movie. Really, like, this was not for me. I don't know. Movies have kind of stunk.
Yeah.
And yeah, like my kids went to see Nosferatu or whatever.
Yeah.
They were like
top 3. Oh, really?
Yeah, they all gave it thumbs down. Yep.
Really interesting.
Yep. All of them.
That was like the first vampire movie, Nosferatu. It was a silent film.
Yeah, and apparently they
remade it again.
Sexualized this one, so a little bit. So, yeah, of course. I know, right?
Why not?
Yeah, I'm like trying to think movie wise. I don't think I had one for this year, but I did have a streaming show that I liked, which I highly recommend if you're a sports person, and that is Welcome to Wrexham on FX.
Right, you have mentioned that before.
Completely got me into soccer, and now I'm actually, or football as it were. Now I'm actually getting up on Saturday mornings and grabbing my coffee, and then around 10 a.m. the Premier League and the League One and all those, you know, all those games come on like around that time on Saturdays and Sundays.
Sure.
It's kind of nice, actually. I can watch a match and get on with my day.
Day.
Instead of, you know, like with football in the US, you know, it can be an all day affair if you were a fan of watching NFL and things like that. So,
right.
Yep. But so, I love it. Actually, check it out if you get a chance. Great storylines, very heartening what's going on.
Oh, good.
How they're bringing the town back to life through a soccer club.
Did you mention this? Who was it? Is it FX?
Yeah, it's on FX.
It's FX, okay.
And it's Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney
from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Correct. Yeah, they own the club. They are
no idea they were friends.
Yeah, I didn't either. Who knew?
So we stumbled upon one, and it was late in the year, and we loved Yellowstone, but we didn't watch this last season, and we did not watch the like the last season, and then and then Kevin Costner left, and we're like, well, then what's the reason? Anyway, Tyler Sheridan has written a bunch of other shows, and the one that he wrote is called Landman, and it stars Billy Bob Thornton, and it's about the oil industry.
Oh, I've heard that. I've seen that on the socials. It looks
Dude,
pretty
watch
good.
it. Dude, watch it. Watch it. Watch it.
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton is fantastic. He was great in, oh God, what was it called? Giant? I forget where he was a lawyer. He was a down and out
Great
lawyer.
in Love Actually as the president.
That's
of the
right.
United
Oh my
States.
God, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I think we got what we came here for.
I look forward to our two countries working together.
We're working closely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he
Got
was
a little awkward.
it is all. He is also in but he is in this Landman, which is and Tyler Sheridan, the guy who did Yellowstone. And he writes the scripts, and the scripts are snappy, and the dialogue is just, and it's funny.
I love that.
Funny.
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton is fantastic. Shocking things that happen. They go, whoa, didn't see that coming. It's good. Very, very good. Highly recommended. And I can't for the life of me remember what service it's on. I think it might be Prime. It could be.
Sure, it's not like Paramount or something.
Or Apple.
What is it? What is it called? I'll look it up while you talk.
Landman. So he's kind of like the fixer up guy for this oil corporation. And he's and it's John Hamm is the CEO.
John Hamm. It's on Paramount Plus, by the way.
Thank you.
And maybe on Amazon as well. I'm like looking here, but definitely Paramount Plus.
And Demi Moore is in it, although for 17 seconds. I haven't really seen any big meat of a scene with Demi Moore, but John Hamm is great when he's in everything. Yeah. But really, really well done. Great storylines. It's and I've learned a lot. Well, I've learned a lot about the oil industry that Tyler Sheridan wants me to know.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
it's clearly coming from his point of view.
Sure.
Clearly coming from his point of view. And so you have to go, okay, I see where he's coming from. Is it true? You should probably look up some other.
Well, it's funny as you were saying that. I was pulling up, where it is online and stuff, and the title of this article is "Landman is in love with the myths that oil men tell about themselves."
There you go.
So,
well, it was the same thing going on with Kevin Costner's character.
Yeah.
John on and Yellowstone about how they took over the land that was Native Americans and they're feeding America with this cattle industry. So it's you're getting it's
entertainment.
It is entertainment. It's good. I recommend it, and not for any political agenda at all.
Right.
I just think Billy Bob Thornton is funny as hell. He's great in that.
Yeah.
Now, I did want to say in the year in review, I couldn't think of a single movie that really stood out. We like to go see the big summer blockbusters when they're in the theater. We like to see it in the theater because we like the theater experience, and we eat popcorn for dinner and so on and so forth. I can't for the life of me remember a big summer movie that we went to see. It's not in my memory. But
yeah,
I'd have to say one that I did love to go.
I guess Deadpool kind of was sort of.
But I told you when that came out, I was kind of over it by like 5 minutes. Minutes into it. It was like too much. It was like, okay.
Yeah, I get that.
You're a wisecrack. I was burned.
I saw it on a plane.
So I was excited about it, and then of course it gets confusing with the mythology and the different universes. He's a different guy, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't. Yeah. I've told Greatest Wife Ever before. If I'm seeing a movie, first of all, I want to escape.
Yeah,
I don't want real world problems. That's why I didn't see. What was the one that Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson? It was about a marriage that was falling apart.
I don't need to see that.
Thank you. It's not. I mean, I understand. I get it. You probably did a great job, and they were up for Oscars and Golden Globes and all that stuff. And it's not.
Just don't care to see that.
Not entertainment to me. I know it's a story that has to be told.
I'm
sure that somebody and they did a great job doing it. But
right.
I don't need to see it. I'm sorry. I want to laugh and I want thrills and excitement. And I like popcorn movies, period. I'll see a drama, I guess, if it's but Tom Cruise getting broken up over getting passed over for promotion and Top Gun, whatever. That's about the extent of my when he's staring off into the distance. That's the extent of my drama that I want. in a popcorn movie.
Generally speaking, I'm with you 100% there. So
Thank you.
yeah, yes.
So the one that I did like though
Yeah.
is and the one that stands out in my mind, the greatest wave ever, and we both love it because we love Christmas movies,
Yeah.
was the greatest Christmas pageant ever.
Yeah, you talked
And
about
I
that
highly
recently.
recommend it.
Yeah.
That stands out. Oh, you know what we did see? Because they're both streaming now. We watched Beetlejuice.
But I haven't seen that yet.
Eh,
Yeah, I kind of figured it would just
it
be
was, yeah. There once or twice I laughed out
moments.
loud, but really, and and I did like Jenna Ortega because I like Jenna Ortega in Wednesday.
Mhm.
But still, and what was the other big one? There was another big one that came out that we watched and we sat down and like, all right, let's watch it. That was streaming, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. Beetlejuice. What was the other one? What was the other big movie that
I'm
we
trying to
saw?
look up the biggest box office from 2024 right now.
Oh well, number one is I'll tell you right now is
Well, it's part of our question of the day, right?
well for this year. Well, yeah, this
Top
year
10
it was
highest grossing movies of 2024. Yeah.
Inside Out 2
Yep.
was highest grossing movie.
Mhm.
Now, why can't I think of whatever it was
All
called?
right. Well, I got them here just in case you're curious because we're going down this road anyway. Number 10 was Beetlejuice. Number 9 was Venom, The Last Dance. Number 8, Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, this is worldwide box office.
Oh, okay. Well, I have domestic box office.
Okay. Number 7, Godzilla X Kong.
The New Empire. Okay.
Okay. Number 6 was Wicked. Number 5.
Hold on. Let me just tell you, it's Wicked Part 1. You're not seeing the whole show. You're only getting half of that. They really pulled a marketing switcheroo.
Nobody mentions that.
Bait and switch. They don't mention it until you sit down and you're sitting there with your popcorn and it goes, Wicked Part 1. And you're like, what?
What?
Money grab. Money grab.
Number 5 was Dune. Number 4 was Moana 2.
Okay.
Number 3, I actually saw Despicable Me 4. There were funny moments, but
yeah, right.
Number 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, and as we said, Inside Out 2.
Why can't I think of what the movie was? It was a big movie, and then it was out, and we watched it, and we were just kind of like, okay, that was. And we watched one into the other. It was like, oh well, let's watch Beetlejuice now. And I can't for the life of me remember what it was. That's so bad. It not ends with us. It wasn't. We saw the Wild Robot actually in the studio in the theater because we took our grandson to go see it. Yeah. Red One was great. I loved Wonka. Why is Wonka in there? Oh, leftover from last year, I guess. Mean Girls, Migration. Was Wonka? Wonka wasn't this year, was it?
No,
it was last year. I thought. Oh,
what?
Joker. Folie à deux. Okay.
Yeah.
The musical. Lady Gaga was Harley Quinn.
How'd that go for you?
And Joaquin. We loved it.
Did you?
Loved it. It just got so raked over the coals. And I believe, and Greatest Wave Ever believes, the word of mouth killed it.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, not the word of mouth. Reviews killed it. Because if you actually saw the film, then it was fantastic. Fantastic. So well acted. Now, Lady Gaga was, I think, underutilized a little bit.
Okay.
But again, she was still awesome. Just fantastic. I'm sorry. I highly recommend it. Now, I'm not going to get too far into the comic book world.
Okay, please don't.
Well, I mentioned
it's like me getting too far into Disney.
This is in the run of show, but
okay.
And it's
okay.
It's our freaking podcast. So if I want to do it,
it's your podcast. I'm just the sidekick here.
So no, not at all. I'd say equal partner now.
Okay.
Joker Folie à Deux is set in a universe. It looks like early to mid 70s, and it's got the original Joker, which was in 2019, I think, was also very much harkened back to very much Robert, who's the Martin Scorsese, Taxi Driver, very much Taxi Driver, which, you know, the Martin Scorsese kind of set the tone with that kind of almost cinema verite kind of thing, almost like your camera is it's a documentary. You're literally in the room documenting this crazy thing that's going on. And anyway, and then King of Comedy with Robert De Niro and Jerry Lewis, which is another Martin Scorsese film, clearly influences on this film, on the first one. So the second one, they said, oh, it's going to be a musical. And it wasn't like a West Side Story musical. These were established songs. They would break out into a musical piece, but it was a fantasy sequence. It wasn't really happening. Okay. Fantasy sequence, a lot of great showmanship and done. And it's Lady Gaga. So come on. And Joaquin Phoenix just really holds his own, of course, even in the singing department, although his acting is just top notch. But people are like, well, how does this fit into the Batman world? And the director said, look, I didn't say he was the Joker. That's why it's called Joker. And there's he could have been the influence on what later became the Clown Prince of Crime with Batman.
It's also confusing.
Well, I mean, and here's what I'm going to say, John. And my pledge in 2024 or 2025 is we're going to have more guests. Work on getting Mark McGrath, Lisa Loeb, bring her back.
Have her back.
There's also a guy that I worked with named Owen. I'd like to get Owen Federline on because we're going to talk comic books and comic book movies.
Okay.
Because it's the new trailer for Superman was released last week.
Okay.
And this is another reboot. You know, they had, and again, I'm not going to get too far into it, but Zack Snyder did his take on it with Man of Steel and all of that. And it was very dark, muted colors, dark, and it was trying to build a universe like Marvel did, but it was too much too soon. And it was Batman versus Superman. And then, although I still think Ben Affleck is the best Batman, I do, and I will die on that hill. Sorry. I know everybody's going, Michael Keaton. Okay, yeah, but no, Ben Affleck brought it home. So they got a new head of all the DC films. So you have the three biggies: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Okay, those are the most popular of the comic book characters, and DC has them. And it's Warner Brothers and Max or HBO Max, whatever, who now have these characters, and they just did the Penguin TV series and so on. So this James Gunn he did Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Right. He was in the Marvel universe. He did a Suicide Squad movie, which is in DC. So they hired him to be the head of the DCU. DC universe. This is it. Shared universe, Batman, Superman, they all exist in this one. So he's rebooting, got a different actor. Henry, people are up in arms because, well, some people, most people don't care. The people that I read their websites and their Facebook pages really care because they're into Zack Snyder and the Snyder Universe and all that stuff. Who was the director of the really dark movies? Well, now you have James Gunn. He put out the trailer, and I'm hopeful. I hope it's because. And James Gunn said this. He said, and reflected exactly what I thought. And that was the two movies I saw as a kid that three that transformed me when I was a kid was Rocky, which was my first
good one.
Yeah. God, that was my all-time favorite movie. Saw Star Wars in the theaters when it was just called Star Wars, 1977. Which would make me 11, almost 12. And then Superman, the movie, which was 78.
Okay.
And which was, I wanted to live in those. I wanted that. And James Gunn said, he saw those movies. And he's like, this is what I want to do. This is the
Right.
world that I want to live in. I want to be in a spaceship, and I want to have a ray gun, and I want to have artificial gravity, and none of the laws of physics apply. That's what I wanted to happen. So James Gunn has said that's how he felt about Superman the movie, the
Okay.
original one with Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
That's where I'm landing.
Okay.
So I'm excited about it. We'll
Could
see.
be good. Could be
We'll see
good.
what happens.
Could be good.
All right.
I guess
No,
we'll
no
see.
opinion, no thoughts, opinion. Did you see the trailer?
I'm just generally I'm how to put this, burnout on that all.
Well,
Just
they have.
I'm done with Marvel, I'm done with DC. I'm done with all the superheroes, and I want some funny movies like Happy Gilmore 2 to come out. Oh wait, it is.
Yeah, there you go. Well, was it
I want
season?
comedies to come back. I want other storytelling to come. For a while, we just have gone so heavily. It just seemed like the box office were being dominated. Now this year, not the case. I mean, Venom, I guess,
Well,
but
Marvel, yeah. Well, yeah, again, but Marvel, they topped out with
just
Avengers.
yeah,
They
I'm just
topped out with Avengers
yep,
Endgame. They built
yep.
that universe up.
Well,
They ended
that-
with
that's
Endgame.
what it was. The end
Literally,
game.
end was in the name.
Yep.
And then they tried to come back with other and
Yeah.
set up a new Captain America and set up this and that, and now they're going to come back with the Fantastic Four, and which is something that never kind of took off the way they wanted it to.
Yeah, I'm just
And
good. I'm good for right now. I'd love for some good old fashioned storytelling to come back in that doesn't involve superheroes.
well, here's the thing about special effects. It's not just superheroes, but special effects.
Yeah, that too.
Is what more can you do? I think I've seen pretty
Right.
much everything.
Well, that and I'm a big practical effects guy. Like I don't like all the computer animation and stuff. I think it gets to the point of ridiculous where, you're
Yes.
looking with your eyes and you're going, come on.
Right.
Like
right.
when they're hopping on, buses and cars going down the street, or, even in some of the
What do you mean when like John McClane doesn't get
I mean, some of it
doesn't get completely decimated when he
but there were so many more practical effects rather than computer generate. I just think
no, I
it
know.
adds a element of phoniness to it. So
Well, it's hard to employ the suspension of disbelief.
correct. Yeah. So anyway, that's my
yeah.
I think.
Because that's what we do. Greatest Wave Ever Night. We pick apart movies like that, and we're like, so why didn't he call her when he should have? And we're like, well, we're literally watching a man who can fly. So we're not. I'm not going to try to bring logic into a place where it belongs. But I'm feeling you exactly what you're saying, because I think the Steven Spielberg said this, or Martin Scorsese said that they're going to go the way of the Westerns, because for a while there were a bunch of Westerns. Every movie that came out
is that where we're headed?
Westerns for like 20 years. And if you think about it, if you started in 1977 with Superman the movie, and then there really wasn't much of any consequence until 1989 Batman, and then Spider-Man, and then in 2002, and then that's it. It was all bets were off, and they started building the Marvel universe, and with Iron Man and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
and it was everything, and it was not just secondary or tertiary characters, but characters you've never even heard. I've never heard of Blue Beetle. What is the?
I know.
And I liked comic book.
A little too crazy.
Yeah.
Here's my other final wish for the new year is sequels. Stop with so many. I mean, I get it. You got a great franchise or whatever, and okay, but look at the top 10. How many were
the top 10? Every single one was a sequel. Actually, top 10. Kung Fu Panda 4, Godzilla vs. Kong, Twisters.
No new ideas. They have no new ideas. That's just
part
it.
2. Beetlejuice.
I know that's
movie 4.
Right.
Moana 2.
This is what I'm saying.
Wicked was the only one, but even that's a derivative of the Wizard of Oz.
And it's a reboot. I mean, it's telling the story.
Wolverine was a sequel, and Inside Out. I'm trying to think, where is there an original movie? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Gladiator 2. There you go. At number 14. Number 14, It Ends With Us.
Okay.
That's the first standalone, not a sequel to everything.
Yeah, I mean, how about some new ideas in the pipeline? But nobody, that's the problem. These movie studios, it's the same reason why music sounds all the same now. You find a formula and you just ride it until the horse is dead.
By the way, we are sounding our age.
We are, but I mean, this is a legitimate criticism right here, that if you look at the top 10, top 15 almost, they're all sequels.
Every one of them.
Is it too much? I mean, is that really being old asking for original storytelling?
But there's a reason why they're sequels. We made them because we go and see them. People are spending their money.
It's because
if nobody went and saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you wouldn't have had a Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is number one at the box office.
Then this is your Uncle John speaking to you kids.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, John.
This is your Uncle Billy. Like, don't do drugs.
Become a rock star.
Become a rock star.
They'll give it to you for free.
So no, this is your Uncle John speaking.
Yeah.
Stop going to the sequels so that they start making original movies. Just stop. Watch it. Wait for it to come on. If you stop going to the theaters and going to all these things, that's the only way to, it's kind of like when you're mad at a company because they did this or that. Stop spending your money with them. That's the only way you're ever going to affect any change. So
true. But you're never going to be able to get a lot of people together. The last time we got a lot of people together to affect a change was the pandemic.
Well,
when everybody stayed home.
Right.
That's when you saw the
water. Well, let's not go through that again. Okay. All right. So I'm not suggesting that, but I am suggesting
I'm not suggesting that either. I'm just saying,
you know what? If you're working in Hollywood too and you're a bigwig, think about making an original film every once in a while, would you?
And well, they do. They make the independent films and nobody sees them.
Yeah, but it's because they don't put any support or marketing behind them.
We watched a film the other day because we just kept it on the HBO channel or whatever it was. And it was a biopic starring Claire Danes called Temple Grandin.
Okay.
Never heard of this woman before in my life. Yeah. I looked it up. It was a real person. She was autistic and still is. She's still around. Mm-hmm. But she's got a master's and all of this stuff. And it was this movie, Greatest I've Ever Known. Like, that was fantastic. Never heard of it.
Right.
Never heard of it before. And she got all these awards, like a Golden Globe or whatever, because people won't go and see the independent films with the
name. Yeah. I hear you.
So, all right. You want to do the question of the day?
Yeah, because we're like out of time.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even look at the time. I did not even look at the time. We're just going off on a rant. We'll streamline things. We'll get way better in 2025. I promise.
You promise. Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Time to get the gray matter working. Fire off the synapses, engage for the low form new neural networks. Utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to
think.
It's the question of the day. We call it the Q&A for short. Here it is. Today's question of the day for Pride, not Prize. Are you ready? Here we go.
I'm ready.
Inside Out 2 is the highest grossing movie of 2024. What was last year's highest grossing movie?
I don't know. It's a good question.
And it was
could you repeat that one more time?
I'll give you a hint. It was not a sequel. Not a sequel.
Oh, how about that?
Inside Out 2 is the highest grossing movie for 2024. What was last year's highest grossing movie? All right.
I don't know.
Put your answers in the comment section.
And
good luck. Temple Grandin. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Claire Danes. This is fantastic. Catherine O'Hara, the mom from Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
Not in a comedy.
Oh.
A dramatic role. Very
By
good.
the way, some housekeeping.
Yeah.
I'm gone next week.
Okay.
I'm at CES next week.
No, I knew that. I knew.
Okay.
That. You had already
and a board meeting and all that. So I'm just letting I'm letting the folks know.
I understand.
5 listeners.
Okay. Is that what we have? Is it 5?
I don't know.
That's fantastic.
I told you, most people listen after we record the show.
That's true.
It is true. Anyway,
okay.
Go ahead.
All right, here it is, the QOD one more time. Inside Out 2 is the highest grossing movie for 2024. What was last year's highest grossing movie? Super duper give it away clue, not a sequel. You were complaining about that earlier. All right, put your answers in the comment section. And what do we got, John?
What do we got?
Jennifer, Skull Love Ack. I remember we discussed it last year. I think it was animated, but can't remember. No, it was not animated. So there you go. There's another clue.
Well, then we're in trouble.
Another clue. John, you got anything?
Last year.
Last year. 2023. Huge.
Really huge?
Huge.
Was it superhero related?
It was not.
What, can we get a clue?
It was not superhero related. Made 8,908,478,987 worldwide.
Oh, I'm going to be really upset when I find out what it is. And if you stump the panel,
you are going to be upset. Number one film for 2023, highest grossing, but not a big Oscar,
animated.
Not a big Oscar, not animated.
Oh, how about can I say it since we don't have anybody?
Yeah.
Top Gun.
No. I'll give you the top 5.
Okay.
Number five for 2023 was Oppenheimer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember.
4 was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. 3 was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. 2 was the Super Mario Brothers movie. Number 1. Want to give the answer?
Yeah, because you've stumped everybody.
Barbie.
That's right.
That's how huge it was, and that's how soon we forget. 2023's number 1 later. Everybody's Barbie. It was going to change the world, and now it's like, what was the number 1 movie last year? There you go.
Right in under. Yeah, I'm going to give that to her.
Yeah,
because we know there is a delay, and so we're probably at least 10 or 15 seconds.
There is an delay. There's a delay.
Right. So I will give that to you, Celeste. Good for you.
Yay!
Good for you for coming up with that.
Pride, not prize. Carry that around with you until next year.
Jennifer says, terrible movie.
Brady's wife ever didn't like it either.
I didn't like it.
He wanted it to be.
I was not a fan.
A little bit more about the toys, and she's like, "That's not how you play with Barbies." And where was this? And where was that? And where was this? And that? You know,
it kind of felt the same way. Who said that? Who said that?
Greatest wife ever.
Oh well, kudos.
Pardon me. I'm sorry. That was so rude.
Kudos to Jenny.
Clearly,
I agree.
She's got her finger on the pulse. I trust her in her opinion too, because we were watching Joker Folio do it. She's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and I said, "Well," she goes, "I love it." I'm like, "Thank you." Karen, I loved it too. Karen loved Barbie.
And let's see what it's less.
I thought it was one of the. It was one of the Barbenheimer movies. You said Oppenheimer, and number 5, I guessed Barbie. There you go. Yeah, that gave it away.
Jennifer fell asleep after 10 minutes. It's funny. Yeah, I watched it just to watch it.
Not everybody's cup of tea. We saw Inside Out 2.
Okay. I heard it was pretty good.
I've noticed, if you notice, by the way, it's all about the family flick. It's all about the family flick, except for rated R Wolverine. But other than that, it's all about the family flick, because millennials want to take their kids to the movies. And well, I don't know about John. John's still in the money demo. We're not driving the box office anymore. 60-year-old man, not driving the box office. It's always has been, always will be in the 25-54 demographic. And they are young parents, and they want to take their kids to go to see the movie. So it's a family flick. It's always a family flick. That's why you've got Sonic the Hedgehog 3 with old gamers.
I know.
And their kids.
Their kids going and reminiscing. Yeah, exactly. Bring back the R-rated comedies.
So John's out for next year. For next week. In the new year. So we'll meet you in 2 weeks.
Right around Valentine's Day.
In 2020. What?
No, January. I'm thinking I'm a month ahead of time. Around the 14th.
Okay. Which, by the way, we were in Sam's Club last week going up.
They probably have that out.
They have all the Valentine's candy was already out. And Easter peeps.
Yeah.
we're out. And I'm like, wait,
Okay.
what? So anyway, all right, listen.
Yes.
Have a wonderful, happy New Year. Party safe tonight, and have a great time. And what else? I mean,
I
I hope
he,
2025 brings you all the wonderful. There he
he
is.
ended up on the ground.
Oh, there it is.
Because he was flat.
Yay! Good for you.
Poor Hans Gruber.
Have a great 2025 or a great new year, and we
Yeah.
wish you every single beautiful, wonderful thing to come into your life for the new year. And
Absolutely.
we thank you so much for everything you've done with us and just hanging out with us and making us part of your a tiny little part of your life, and we appreciate that. And next year we'll come back. And again, my resolution is more guests, and we'll and I might dip. I'm giving you fair warning. I'm going to dip down into the comic book film thing.
Oh boy.
When we have one. Oh, but I'll make it good for you, John.
Okay.
I'll make
All
it
right.
fun for you so
All
that
right.
you can
right.
enjoy it. I will
right.
definitely do that. Because
I'll get out my
you
Disney
know what I'm going to do?
card.
I'm going to put it in your world. I'll put it.
Okay. It's my world.
All right. Oh, God.
All right. Oh, go take care of that.
Wearing off for 2024. All right,
Yeah.
listen.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. John Yaglensky, Ron Ross, love you, mean it. Bicycle. Happy New Year.
Bye now.